The Western Cape has emerged as one of Africa's most digitally advanced regions across finance, logistics, agriculture, and professional services. Organizations are moving towards integrated systems that combine hardware, software, data, and automation into a single environment. The drive for digital singularity is upon us. This shift has been driven by necessity and ambition. Many organizations still operate with fragmented IT procurement, legacy infrastructure, and labor intensive processes, yes. Automation and AI are thought to provide efficiency and resilience, yet their implementation is rarely straightforward. Beyond technical complexity, questions of governance, accountability, and ethics are still unsolved. In response, full-service technology providers are gaining prominence in the Cape. Technology firms such as First Technology supplies businesses with reliable IT hardware at scale through strong global vendor partnerships. Supported by proficient procurement, warehousing, and flexible financing. Alongside this, its AI.com division helps organizations identify, prioritize, and implement automation, integrating AI into existing systems to improve efficiency and reduce risk. Together, it delivers both the infrastructure and intelligence needed for long-term digital transformation. Now, while this sort of digital integration or transformation has clear advantages, it also raises more troubling questions about its wider consequences. There are serious concerns with this sort of digital transformation, especially given the damage caused by the unethical social and economic transformation that has taken place in South Africa over the past 30 years. Is this going to be a form of digital wokeness? As technology stacks become more unified, power becomes more centralized. Decision-making increasingly moves from users and institutions to platforms, vendors, and administrators who control infrastructure, data flow, and access rights. In a digitally integrated environment, efficiency and control are often two sides of the same coin. This dynamic has political implications, particularly in a region where a political field itself is narrowing and any contrary evidence is called misinformation. When public services, workplaces, and civic life rely on tightly integrated digital systems, the scope for dissent, experimentation, and decentralization shrink. Surveillance becomes easier, not necessarily through overt repression, but through routine data collection and monitoring and optimization. Authoritarianism in such a context or control does not always announce itself loudly. It can emerge quietly through procurement standards, security policies, compliance frameworks, and quote-unquote best practice automation. Once embedded in the system, these logics are difficult to challenge because they present themselves as technical necessities rather than political choices. Sneaky, hey? In the Western Cape, this risk is easily overlooked. Digital integration can easily reinforce concentration of power even in otherwise open society. When access to services, employment, or other information on integrated platform controlled by a small number of actors, freedoms become conditional rather than assumed. The central question is not whether the Western Cape should embrace integrated technology. That path is already being taken by our so-called competent leaders in the DA and other organizations. The more difficult question is how we move forward without eroding privacy and political openness. Who sets the rules embedded in these systems? Who audits their effects? And what avenues remain for resistance or reform when digital infrastructure becomes inseparable from everyday life? How do we move away from a digital overlord? These questions matter for the future of our children and grandchildren. Integrated technology can support a more efficient and resilient economy. However, it can also normalize forms of control that narrow both political choice and freedoms. We must build independent institutions. This is the ethical way forward. We have the wind in our sails.